folks, that is the end of kind of our main topic. Now we're going to get into Q&A. So if you have a question for Matt or myself, all you have to do is type in !Q and add in whatever the question is, and we're going to show it up right. Can I do this? Right over this section. Wow, my finger looks so large in comparison right now. Right in that right in that area. Though I hope that I captured most of the questions. I feel like some of them might have fell through. I don't know why, but yes. Okay, no, I think I got most of them. Okay, beautiful. So we're gonna start with the first one. Does it sound good to you, Matt? So basically, we'll just ask you, and then if anything, on my end, then I'll reply. Awesome. So the first one we got is from Sponge, and he says, question: why did you agree to mod for Pixelogic Dev? What drew you to him? Genuine question.
To be honest, I don't know why. No.
I have no idea why I'm here.
No, again, it's because of what, as I said, what got me through my little slump of working from home. Yep. I liked what you were doing. I liked the community, and I very much wanted to help out on the community. And then when you asked for me to be a temporary mod on the Flutterthon, I just jumped at the chance because, again, that fulfillment of helping other people is currently where I am in the stage of my career and life. And I just thought, better place than any. Take my try at modding for the first time, and I hope I'm doing a good job.
Yeah, dude, you're doing awesome, man. And yeah, I think for a lot of people that I asked to help out during Flutterthon, that was a big time. Man, that 24-hour stream was like one of the most intense 24-hour streams that I've done. Usually, like before, maybe it's because I guess I'm getting older, as they say. But I was so tired after that. That was a long event.
I just want to interject there. Yeah. It's Ragtime Rye. Oh God, you can't see. It's Ragtime Rye whiskey that I'm drinking.
Yes, we know Matt loves his whiskey.
Yes, not too much. I'm out of mine.
Yes, just the perfect amount. Still able to sail a boat in Sea of Thieves.
Well, I don't know about that. Cloud. I don't know whether Cloud's into.
Yes.
Pass judgment on that.
All right, next one. Next one's from Roars. Ooh. Do you feel less imposter syndrome as you progress in your career?
I wouldn't say less, but not as intense.
Okay. Yeah.
It's and I think that's more because I'm realizing when I'm having imposter syndrome, and I'm taking steps to mitigate it. But no, I don't think it's less. I think it's just I'm better able to handle it.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think from my perspective, I agree, but I also think that as I go through my career, I feel more confident in the work that I do, right? So again, I kind of touched on our cycles thing last week where I was like, oh wow, like I feel so much more confident about the things that I'm actually working on. And in general, I just think you end up becoming more excited. You end up becoming more confident in yourself, right? So yeah, I think in general, imposter syndrome will start going away as you go through your career. But in tech, as you constantly learn, you're constantly going to be comparing yourself to, oh, I may not know as much as this person, or you encounter something you don't know, and that's okay. It's just learning how to properly go through it and get that information and grow through education. Awesome. Cool. Thanks for the question, Roars. All right, next one is from NFG Codex. So how do you feel about the notion of side projects outside of work?
Yeah, I'm a true advocate of doing side projects, even if they're small to-do apps or anything like that, learning a new language or anything. And more so than a side project completely outside of tech, as I've mentioned earlier. Side projects as well help refresh your mind as well, because you're not working on the problem you're stuck on or whatever. You're working on something different. It just gives your mind time to just forget about that and refresh basically. But and I can just see NFG's put an extra bit onto that. I think as well, anybody who says they don't need to go home and practice programming or study to be a good engineer, they're kidding themselves as well. Our field moves so quickly. There's no way in hell that you can do your day-to-day job at the best of your abilities and still keep on top of things. As well as that, if you're not, personally, again for me, if you're not going home and keeping an interest in programming and stuff like that, you might need to take stock and see if you are hitting burnout or programming is even for you anymore. Because I've got to say, a lot of people don't become programmers just because they're good at it. They start on it because they're interested, and most people it starts off as a hobby. So once you start seeing what you got in as a hobby, as enjoyment and stuff like that, or you're not wanting to go home and read stuff or read the news about it all, there's something wrong there, and you need to take stock. Again, personally for me.
I mean, I think that's I love this question a lot, and I think you answered it really great. You know, there's two different perspectives to this. And Codex, thanks for asking the question. I think you all know by now that I'm obviously very passionate about doing things outside of the workplace. And you know, one, with these Twitch channels or these Twitch streams, and two, just trying to build products outside of my like daily job. Right. I think it's really important to be, the reason why you're doing projects outside of work is because you're excited to learn. It's because you're excited to grow. I don't necessarily think it's because you should feel forced to do it. I think depending on where you work, you can still learn a lot about the new advances in technology and, you know, from people that have been in industry for a while. But I think being able to build these things, especially if you're, let's say, in university and all you do currently is do coursework for maybe a computer science degree, getting that experience at like an internship or just building your own product, like in my mind, you learn light years more than you do at school in that sort of experience. And for me personally, I always use Cycles because literally that app I think has got me to where I am today. If I never built that app in university, I would not be where I am. And I think that's it's really incredible. And I think that's why education, at least in the United States, because that's where I'm from, education in the United States needs to change in that sort of area, in that sort of feel and feeling. People need to realize that you need to apply yourself as well. So yeah, I love that question.
But also,
go ahead.
I was going to say, just to put onto that as well, don't overdo it.
Yes, 100%.
Because if you feel like you're doing all your learning outside of work, then something might be wrong as well there. You've got to just get that right balance, because if you're doing all your learning and everything outside of work, again, you've got to be careful because you're going to burn yourself out.
Yeah, totally.
It's a delicate balance you've got to get, and I think in a way as well, you're only going to get it by experiencing some of the imposter syndromes and burnout. It's not a nice way to find out, but Yes, it's a hard thing to strike.
Yeah. No, I really agree with you. I remember my very first burnout ever. And it's a bad feeling. It is terrible. It was my last year of university. I was working. I had a internship where I did 15 hours a week. I worked at an Apple retail store for 15 hours a week. I took 6 courses in school, and I also was working on cycles. And I just remember like my life was just wake up, cycles, internship, school, Apple every single day for a good like 3 or 4 months. And I just remember sitting, I was looking at the floor and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? And I was about to throw my laptop like out my window. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And that was like the absolute worst feeling ever. But it also helped me realize like, okay, I know where I stand in my level of too much work and not having enough free time. And so I'm not saying get to that point, but just be very mentally cautious of, or mentally aware is a better idea of, this is where I am, here are my thresholds, and don't pass those. It's just going to be a better time for yourself and everyone around you. So,
and sleep and exercise, that's another thing what will help prevent it.
Yes.
People just forget about that so much.
Yeah. Yeah, and Sponge, great point. Be honest with yourself and others, for sure. Codex, dude, I agree with you. I would love to chat with you, so feel free to join if you're not on the Discord. I have a lot of things to talk about in regards to that too. It's pretty crazy to think about that, but awesome. Any other thoughts, Matt, before we move on to the next one?
I mean, I could go on for hours, so if anybody wants to bend me ear on it in Discord, please.
Yeah, please do.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, let's do this from Nonsense Socks. Were you guys both passionate about code before getting into the career? Do you think working in tech ruined that passion for you? How do you keep interest in it as a hobby? Great question. Matt, please do the honors, my friend.
I feel like I keep saying this on all the questions, but like I've touched on earlier, yeah, it was a hobby of mine. Ever since sitting on my dad's knee while he played Doom and stuff like that, that's when I got that spark of, I want to know how this is made. I realized that programming is where I wanted to be. It's just that's when I knew I wanted to be in programming. It's always been a passion of mine, and I think it always will be. There has been stages where my career path has ruined it slightly for me, but again, that's when I was suffering from burnout. Having other avenues to then just forget about it and come back to it. Once I came back to it, that's when I realised this is why I love what I was doing. When I joined HMA and started working on the apps, and I remember that the first day, coming back after the first day, since joining, and then saying to myself in the car, this is it. This is what I wanted to get into programming for. And if you lose it, you've just got to be honest with yourself about it and see whether, for me, it was a change of scenery, a change of job that made me realise. Some people, it might be go and do another career path and let programming just become a hobby again.
Totally.
It's
awesome. No, that's really great. I like that answer a lot. I would say for me, so if you've never if you've never watched one of these podcasts before, I've kind of briefly touched on it. But when I was in university, I actually started off as a computer engineering degree. My passion was to actually work on NVIDIA graphics cards. And that would have paid off really well right now if I would have been at NVIDIA, so I can get a 3080 in my hands. But hey, rip. But I took a course in this thing called statics, just as like physics on steroids. and whatnot. And I've never tried so hard in a class ever in my life. And I went out of that class and I literally got a failing grade, like literally failed it. And I couldn't believe it. I was amazed. And that made me think about my path again of what should I be doing with my life? Like what's going on? And I found an internship where I ended up being a web developer. And I was like, programming sucks. Like, who would ever want to do this with their life, sitting in front of a screen, like trying to make these things work? But something at that internship clicked for me where I realized that you could literally build anything you want anywhere in the world with a laptop and internet. And you can impact millions and millions of people just like that. And for me, that is my driving force for programming. So when I brought that into my professional career, you know, I've worked for Microsoft for 3.5 years now. I like to do things that I said that I'm passionate about, like I enjoy. So everything that I've been working towards has been something I'm really passionate about. And if I don't like it, I move on from that. And so I think I've kept programming as a really nice hobby. I still do it outside of work. And I've made it really fun for myself by programming with you all here on stream, building projects in the Discord, hanging out, doing Hacktoberfest stuff. Like, this is how I keep that drive going. And so to answer the question more directly, I don't think my personal career has done that, but it depends on the person. I know people that do software development because, you know, luckily for people in our field, like software engineering is a really great, like you get paid a lot for doing this type of stuff. And some people chase the money and some people chase the passion. It depends on that who you are. And either way, I think it's good to realize who you are and just be true to yourself on what you are in the field for and what you'd like to do with it. So yeah, I love those questions. I think those ones are really important for people to hear and kind of chat about. So thank you, Nonsense, for that. And it looks like we have one more from you. Okay, Matt, how do you support team members who are experiencing imposter syndrome on like a peer-to-peer level? I think we kind of touched on this a bit, but feel free to go more into it.
Yeah, I feel one of the things is just being understanding. You've got to realize you've been there. If you've not been there and it is somebody maybe higher up than you, or and you've spotted it, you probably will be there, and just be understanding in that sense, because if you can be compassionate and helping now, you the likelihood is they're going to reciprocate that when it's happening to you, or when you're feeling another one. And I think as well, you don't pander to them and just try and build them up onto this pedestal that they're not at.
Yeah.
Just be real with them. And if it's anybody worth their salt, you can give them criticism as well if they're feeling imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to always say good things about them. You can be constructive with your criticism.
Yeah.
And just point out where they can better themselves and how, because that's all it can be. And sometimes it is. Any programmer will have had this. It could just be as simple as listening to them, because there's amount of times where I've been stuck on a problem.
Yeah.
And then just gone, can I borrow such and such? Can I borrow you for a minute?
Yeah.
And then as they're walking over, just because they're willing to help, it's happened. It's there. It's popped in, and you feel bad because you've just got them to come over, and then you've solved it.
Yeah.
But it's that sort of interaction. Just being there for someone can do wonders.
Yeah, man, I think that was a really, really good point, and it's a really good point you made there. I think personally, it definitely is. It's good to be open and good to be just showing people that you're willing to talk to them about it and essentially mentor them. So one thing I wanted to post in chat here is this place called Lambda School. If none of you've ever heard of it, it's kind of like a one of those heightened 12 or 24 week programs to learn more about coding. And Lambda School actually has a really cool offering where you can be a mentor for someone going through the school. So I actually just got accepted into it a couple weeks ago, and so I'm being matched with someone to mentor them, based on whatever they're trying to do in the tech field and stuff like that. And so I have been talking with someone currently from the school, not as like an official mentor, but more as like on a friend level. And it's been really enlightening for me. It's been really fun to kind of understand where these people are coming from, understand like how they look up to people that have been in the industry and, kind of use this as a roadmap. And I think that's really important for people that have been in industry for a while to give back in that way to the community and be like, hey, we know you're suffering from imposter syndrome or you feel like you're not going to get there. But I promise you, let me give you like the TLDR about my life of being an imposter and how I'm here. So I think it's really important to do stuff like that. So yeah, if any of you are interested, I would highly recommend signing up for that program and trying to go from there. And Roars, no, you do not get paid. They used to offer a paid thing now, but I think now it's all just volunteer based. So yep, that's that as well. And then Nonsense Socks, I see. I like the point about finding ways to give constructive feedback as well. Yeah, sort of feel it out. I think that's really the best way to go about doing it, right? It's constructive feedback, super important in my opinion. You can give feedback to someone that's not like you're the most incredible developer in the world and still be nice about it, right? And that's, in my opinion, I prefer someone to be very direct with me on things I can work on, but that doesn't mean you sound rude or you're being mean to someone. You're just giving genuine feedback on this is what I believe you can improve on. And so, yeah. So
yeah,
they make money and do work. Yes.
Sounds like us.
Yeah. Yeah. If you didn't know, the whole mod team is pro bono. It'll probably be that way for a while. Yep. But yeah, Matt. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say one quick thing about getting constructive criticism or taking constructive criticism.
Yeah.
When you first receive it, you will feel like that is bad criticism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And all I can say to that as well is genuinely, if the people are generally nice, that criticism isn't meant to be bad. And you will only realize that as you get older and I suppose, don't really like to use that word, but more mature and more realizing that criticism is a good thing as well.
Yeah. No,
because somebody's wanting you to improve.
Totally.
And they can see the potential in you.
Yeah. I mean, people are literally taking their time to give you feedback to help you become better. In my opinion, I think that's really great. And so I definitely think there's a fine line between, there's obviously a proper way to give feedback to someone. And so early on, as someone who wants to be a mentor or someone who wants to help out with that, it's good to learn those skills and understand like how to give someone proper feedback. And that's through experience and just doing it. One and only mod. Yes. The one and only mod for sure. Nonsense. How do you guys feel about compliment sandwiches? Oh, I actually don't know that phrasing, but I'm assuming it's like you give a compliment, then you give some sort of constructive feedback, and then another compliment, if I'm getting that correctly. Have you heard of that, Matt, before?
I've not, no, to be honest, I've not heard of that. But I can see how it can be a good thing.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think it's needed because you can give, you don't have to give one and then the other.
Yeah.
It's, you've just got to be mindful of how you're giving it and what giving, because you can have those meetings where you just say something nice and complete. That's it. Or
Yeah.
if somebody's really messed up and you need to have a criticism meeting, yes, you can have those. So I don't know whether I necessarily agree where you've got to say something good and something bad. It's I think Sponge has said a good point there. You don't learn from compliments. They'll give you a quick ego boost, and then you're back to work, and then it can be forgotten. So
it's actually really funny because I didn't know what that was, and now looking back on feedback I give to people, I definitely do that. I definitely do this compliment sandwich thing, or this feedback sandwich deal. I usually start off with, hey, like, great job on doing this or portraying this information. Let me give you a couple key points that I think you should work on, or like, this is what I think about certain parts. And I think I personally find that pretty helpful, pretty insightful. But I also do agree, the best form of feedback is genuine, straight to the point feedback of, hey, this is what you should do. This is my opinion on your thing. But again, it's always about not forcing your opinion on someone, just like as a life fact, right? People will have different opinions from you everywhere you go. You don't force your perspective on them. You give them your perspective, and they need to do what they will do what they want to do with it. And so all you can do is give it to them, and that's it. Yeah, Roar's good point. You can be complimented on something and then learn that you're good at X. Yeah, totally. I agree with you 100% there. And Dormant Jaguar, it's more to have a person less resistive. Yeah, kind of getting that initial point of, hey, maybe someone didn't feel too confident about something that's presented to you, and instead of you just being like, all right, here's 1,000 things you should work on, it's like, cool, thanks for being open and sharing this with me. By the way, here are some cool things that you could pick up, right? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, cool. So it looks like we have one more question from Sponge, not related to anything we've talked about really, but a great question nonetheless. What's the most interesting thing you've 3D printed?
Do you want the boring answer? Which is
the fun answer.
Well, the boring answer for me is a little key switch opener. That's saved my fingers quite a lot. But the fun answer is a low polygon Growlithe, which is my be-all and end-all favorite Pokemon.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's cool. Did you actually 3D model that yourself, or did you grab a 3D model somewhere?
No, I grabbed a 3D model.
Okay, nice.
I'm not there yet with that.
It amazes me the amount of free 3D models out there in the world. Like, you could literally build anything you want just by going online and grabbing it, and then just, hey, I have my printer. Obviously, I think there's, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there definitely is some skill in properly printing something.
Yes, yeah, there is, because there's the amount of time it's took me to get that to be able to print even just somebody else's model is a long time. But on a little bonus on that, the most the most strange thing I've printed is a 3D bust of my head. And 2 seconds, I'll just go and find it.
A 3D bust of his I think that is definitely really interesting. I'm excited to see this. Yes, where is it? Oh,
there you go.
God. Wow.
It's rather freaky, but
okay. Here's the question.
Sorry, 2 minutes.
Yeah, I have a question for you.
We see we've got audio issues. My sound's now disappeared, so I can't hear.
Uh-oh. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, no, you're back. You're back.
Chick. Mike Chick? Okay, thank you. I did have I had one question for you. How would you feel if I asked you to create a 3D bust of all the moderators of the channel and we send it out to each of them?
Yes, but I'd need a way to scan that and get a 3D scan of them. I don't think Rose is very happy.
It's okay. She looks like she's very excited. I think this is a great idea. Everyone, well, okay. So I know the iPhones have a way to, there's apps on newer iPhones to get 3D modeling. So for me, it's good. I'm pretty sure Aaron is good to go. I think he has an iPhone, I'm pretty sure. I think Roars is the only one who does not have an iPhone.
But I can sympathise with Rose there. It is very creepy. Robin won't let me. Actually, says I've got to hide it because it's very creepy pasta.
I think this needs to happen. We'll talk a little bit more about this later. This is a fantastic idea. All I know is I want a bust of my face, probably like this. You know, something like that. I don't know. Who knows? Ironically enough, I have a friend who's really into 3D printing, and he actually made this, which is really cool. He 3D modeled the whole thing, and yeah, he sent it to me. I buy them from him because I'm like, dude, these are incredible. So I love little 3D or little like 3D printed stuff. I think they're honestly the best. It's a spitting image. Hold on, let's see. Definitely dead inside.
Which one's you?
I know. I agree.
Which one's the real one?
Awesome. Well, friends, it looks like that's the end of the podcast for today. Matt, I highly appreciate you coming out today and talking with us about this. Little bit of a bumpy stream with some stuff happening over in chat, but I think we did the best. Thank you again to the mods for helping out with that. And Matt, we have a special command for you. If you type !MATT in chat, all you gotta do is type it in chat. You will find the best places where you can reach Matt, aka Dr. Dynamite, here on Twitch, on Twitter. Also, if you join our Discord, you have 24/7 access to him. That's what he signed up for as a moderator. Full, no pay. That's exactly what we like to do.
I will still complain about it.
That's all right. Complaints are easy to handle. We'll put it in the HR bin. We'll pass it off to Aaron, the HR manager. But yes, please go give him a follow. Go show him some love. Again, Matt, really appreciate you here, dude. Is there any other thoughts you wanted to kind of leave with folks before we head off?
I suppose the one what I can say is, if you ever doubt yourself, just know that you are much better than what you're currently thinking you are.
Yeah.
And if you don't think that, go and speak to someone and get that ego boost from someone else, because you are a brilliant person. You are where you are because of how brilliant you are. And if you're not where you feel like you want to be, well, that's just a room for improvement and ways to better yourself in terms of learning new things. And heck, you might find new avenues from it. So don't doubt yourself. You are brilliant, and if you're not, you can just bet yourself to be brilliant. There's always something to work on.
That's beautiful, man. Thank you so much. Those are awesome words. I totally agree with you. Your mind is insane, but you can control it because it's your mind. So definitely good words to leave on. And I guess before we fully head out, Roars had one more question. When are you having me back on stream? Because I'm awesome. Well, you denied my request, Roars, so I don't know.
Yeah, let me make a buster, and then you can...
Yup. If you here's the chain of events. 1, you stream again so I can sub to you. 2, we make a bust of your face. And then 3, you come on the podcast. Beautiful. Well, folks, thanks again for hanging out. At the end of every stream, I always like throwing a nice little raid. I saw InstaFluff was online. I love his streams. I think he's doing some Ludum Dare stuff today, so I think we should throw him some love. He's another awesome programming streamer here on Twitch. And so the podcast, the video for this will be out next Saturday. The audio portion of this on all major podcast providers will be out next Sunday, most likely. So make sure you're here for that. Sponge, dude, thanks for posting that again. Yeah, feel free to check out all our past ones. This is the 4th one. So we have a lot of great content before, from meeting moderators, from talking about creating your own game dev studios and the future of live streaming on Twitch. So a lot of really good stuff we got going on over here for sure. Let's go show InstaFluff some love. InstaFluff. Meet the Mods was the best one because it was me. Always. Yes, Matt, dude, thanks again for hanging out.
That's why I've got two podcasts under my belt. The one and only mod.
Oh my God. Trying your life right there. Wow.
Yes, I might not be a mod anymore. I might not even be alive after tonight.
I hear a knife being sharpened somewhere in the background. Yours, are you around? Hello? Yeah, thanks.
I'm sure Robin will beat me up for that.
Robin, don't beat him up, please. Nonsense. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, everyone. Thanks for coming to show some love. But anyways, enjoy the raid. Show InstaFluff some love. And Matt, thanks again, dude. Oh, salute for the thumbnail. I always forget. Signing off. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Salute. Thanks, man. Have a good one, everyone. Enjoy the raid. Peace.
See you later.